Okay, let's call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Freshwater Advisory Board on February 2nd, 2 p.m. at the Ocean Shores Public Library Convention Meeting Room. So, roll call. James? Here. Connie?
Here.
Janet?
Here.
Jay?
Yep.
Jim?
Yep.
And I saw a thing on Jeff being excused.
Like to make a motion. Second it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We need to go ahead and get approval. Let's get approval of last week, meeting agenda rather. We want to make an amendment to the agenda.
Yeah,
James, you want to take that?
I'd like to make a motion to move lines 8 and 12 to 2. Move it to 2. Do that first with Becky and Aquatechnics, and then we'll continue with business as usual after.
Okay. Do I have a motion to?
I make a motion that we move that.
Well, he made the motion, you just have to second.
I second it.
Second it. All in favor?
Nicole? Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Okay. So that's amended. I'd like to get a recommendation to approve the minutes of the last meeting, which is attached to the agenda that was on there that we all should have reviewed.
Oh,
The last.
I'll make a motion to approve the last meeting's agenda.
yeah. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The election of the board officers,
We're gonna put Becky.
that's gonna go back further because we got the other things coming up. If Becky.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah. So I would like to introduce Terry McNabb, who is up on the screen, EMCNA. And Terry McNabb is Aquatechnics, who does our last year, Aquatechnics, our Freshwaterways aquatic weed management. They'll be doing it this year as well. And Terry's going to talk to us a little bit about what we can do and how we're going to start earlier this year. I do have his proposal and I'm planning on taking it to council in February. It may not be the first meeting, it may be the second meeting, but it will be going. So Terry, welcome.
Hi, well, I think I was asked just to kind of give you a preview of what we're suggesting for this coming year. We got I think our contract organized last year. They put an RFP out. We won it sometime. The contracting was done about, I think, first part of July. We came out and surveyed, and we found, you may remember, we did some work for you guys 2 years previously to map the system for the Integrated Aquatic Vegetation Management Plan update. And the primary difference we saw was there was a real dramatic expansion in curly leaf pondweed, which is a Class C noxious weed in the state. When we came back out to do the surveys in July, once our contract was signed. And that plant's kind of unique in that it produces a bunch of turions. So one plant will grow up and it'll produce 10 or 12 or 20 turions, which are kind of like little seed structures on the leaf nodes. And then those fall down to the bottom of the lake or canal or whatever. And then they sprout in the fall and they grow about 6 inches and hang out all winter like that. And then when the days start getting longer, they kind of rocket to the surface and grow and create more turions. So one plant turns into 10 plants, which turns into hundreds of plants, which turns into thousands of plants. And that's kind of where we were last year. By the time we were cleared to go, the plant had probably already formed turions. So we used a contact herbicide to knock it down and, kind of open water up and that type of stuff. And then we went from there. So what we're suggesting for this year is there's a couple herbicides. Let me back up. There's some herbicides on the state permit that the permit we use has about 14 or 15 different herbicides we can choose from, and a bunch of them are subject to a kind of an arbitrary fish timing window where we can't treat until after a certain date, which is July 15th. And there's a website that we have to refer to, the permittees have to refer to study that. And the Duck Lake section of your system that website the Department of Fish and Wildlife has organized allows us to treat anytime all year round. And for some reason, they never polygoned all the canals that are attached to Duck Lake, which means we are required to stick with the July 15th thing. So one of the things we've asked them to do, or going to ask Ecology to do again, is to try and change that. But in the meantime, there's a herbicide we can use. The trade name's Sonar, and the chemical name's Fluoridone. It's extremely effective on curly leaf pondweed, and it's not subject to the fish timing window. It's also a product that takes quite a while to work. It takes usually like 6 to 8 weeks before it really starts knocking plants down. But it is systemic, which means it translocates and it'll kill the roots and that type of thing. So what we suggested to Becky is we can start putting that in the water sometime in April.
John Perry.
And we do 2 applications because that herbicide, like I said, has to be around the target plants at real low rates for 6 to 8 weeks. So we're going to use a controlled release pellet that it's a granular form. It's applied across the treatment areas in the lake. And it kind of just bleeds the stuff off over 3 to 4 week periods. We're going to do 2 applications, or that's what we proposed anyway. One would be sometime in April, and we'd come up prior to that and just get a handle on, what the growth conditions are. And then the second one would be about 3 to 4 weeks after. That way, those parts of the canal that are treated with that would already be, pretty much clear of plants by, say, first part or middle part of June, as opposed to not even being able to start treating until July 15th. The second part of that is it is a systemic herbicide, which it's not a contact, so it gets longer term control. There are areas that we suggested we treat. We mapped them all last season, so Becky's got that map. There's other areas that, like in the main canal, or the Grand Canal, that we're talking about treating the north end of the Grand Canal, a couple of the fingers that are large enough to be treated. And then there's some other just spot treatment work we'll probably have to do over the course of the summer to, just to kind of touch things up and that type of thing. The other thing I'd like some feedback on, and maybe not right away today, but you've got pennywort, as I'm sure you know, distributed all through the system. And in a lot of cases, it's not bothering anybody. It's, it's kind of growing adjacent to cattail areas or places where it's not, and other places it's impacting people's, maybe access to the lake or the canal. It's primarily on the Grand Canal property. So we just, we need probably talk to Becky and get some feedback from you guys on how you want to deal with that. That's not a very expensive treatment. And then I guess just in closing, before I see if you have any questions, we have a new cyanobacteria or algae mapping, satellite mapping system that we're using. And it's something basically that it uses the Planet Lab satellites that come by every day, pretty much. And what they do is we pick a couple spots, and we've already picked 3 that are kind of a match to your Herrera zone type thing, just to get an idea of how it's going to work for you guys. And I'll send you some information on that. But basically what it does is it goes back and looks at the last 5 years of daily satellite images, and it processes them for chlorophyll A's, which can map chlorophyll. So it shows basically the levels. And then that, I think, in our case, is going to replace a lot of the sampling you have to do, where you have to physically get in a boat, go out, take a sample, send it to the lab, pay the lab to process it and get data back in a few weeks. So we're going to look at that. And then, depending on where you go with your cyanobacteria treatment stuff, we do probably, I don't know. We put out about 1 million gallons of aluminum sulfate for a bunch of different clients up and down the West Coast. And we also use quite a bit of lanthanum to target phosphorus and kind of suppress cyanobacteria things. So when you get that kind of decided where you're going to go with that, maybe we can make a more detailed presentation on that kind of stuff. Is that what you want me to cover, Becky?
Yeah, that is great. I can already tell you that the feedback on the pennywort is everybody wants it gone from in front of their docks because.
Okay. It's on the hit list.
It also blocks a lot of the access to
It does.
smaller canals. You can't get into it because it's got so much pennywort.
Gotcha. So you're talking about kind of maybe blow it out on where it's coming around the corners and, okay, yep.
And the north end.
Yeah, the north
The
end.
north end is really
Well,
bad.
the where it's really bad on the north end, I think the Floridone is probably gonna impact it up there, because that's gonna be part of so what we'll do there is we'll just tail into that treatment if there's, depending on, how hard it got hit, we can bring an airboat in there and finish that off. We want to probably get those treatments going in June too, so that, you're not living with it all summer, so.
Is that the Procalor?
Is that the Procolor?
Procelicor doesn't work on pennywort.
Okay.
Procelicor works on, well, I shouldn't say that. It does a little bit on it, but it's not as good as a few other ones. So Rodeo is one that we use on pennywort. Triclopyr is one that we use on pennywort. We're probably going to put a tank mix together of a couple of those. And you have to put an aquatic surfactant in with it so it sticks to the plant and doesn't wash off. And, so that helps it just penetrate and get in and translocate. But both of those are systemic, so they should translocate down and, get the roots and, basically get after it pretty good. So.
So the pellet, you're gonna be putting pellets down. The pellets are outside of the fish window that you talked
Yeah,
about.
it's that herbicide isn't subject to the fish timing window. So the reason there even is a fish timing window is a lot of the rivers and, lakes, like we do a lot of work on Lake Washington, for example. There's a bunch of salmon runs that go through that lake. And so there's a couple herbicides that the Department of Fish and Wildlife feels would be injurious to baby salmon, and we've got data that says that's not the case, but we're still subject to that. So most of the lakes in Washington State have when you go on that website, you can, every lake that has a permit is supposed to be on this website. So we can go to the website and click on it, and it'll tell us whether the lake is or is not subject to the fish timing window. And like I said, Duck Lake, if you go on that website and look at it, Duck Lake, if you click on that, we're allowed to treat year round in Duck Lake, right? But the canal, down Bass Canal and through all that other, areas, they never assigned that a value. And when that's the case, we have to default to the normal thing. So we're trying to make the case to Fish and Wildlife and Ecology. They've got a new process where you can submit a request to modify the fish timing window. We're going to submit a request to do that anyway, but it's going to probably take a few months to. There's no reason if Duck Lake is exempt from a fish timing window that the rest of your. I mean, this is basically the same water body, right?
Yeah.
I got a feeling whoever made the map just didn't want to digitize all your little canals. That's what I think, but that's just my opinion. But does that answer your question or not?
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness that they want to do. I like that a lot.
So will that be, so the treatment that you'll do in April and then again a few weeks later, say like May? The granules that you'll put down, is that?
Yep.
As only for the milfoil or what?
No, it'll impact we're going after the curly leaf primarily, but it's also effective on the other two primary weeds you have in those areas, which is Elodea and the widgeon grass. It's effective on those as well. And there hasn't been a whole lot of Eurasian milfoil observed in the last little bit, but it's extremely effective on that also. But that chemistry is kind of unique. You can't, like I said, it has to be around the plants at really, really low rates for 6 to 8 weeks. So we're treating big chunks of water, like the whole north end of the canal, north of the bridge. It's about 20 acres up there. And then what do you call the fingers that are all go off to the side? That I don't have the map in front of me. That
The bell?
yeah.
The belt canals.
Yeah, that's another area that it works, and then Bass Canal and that type of thing. But what you can't do with that herbicide is just come in and try to treat like a half-acre patch standing by itself somewhere, because it'll dilute away. Those pellets are designed where they bleed we're putting in way more herbicide than you need to. I'm trying to explain that. These pellets are designed to bleed the product off over time. So it's not like if you put a liquid in there, for example, it'd all be there and then it would start diluting out and that type of thing. The pellets are designed to kind of keep the contact levels around the target plants up. if that
Call it
answers your question.
fertilizer.
Right. But that doesn't treat the pennywort, right?
No, well, it might have some injury impact on it, but we come back and there's no fish timing restriction on treating the pennywort, and there's also the products we're using don't have any kind of water closure restrictions. So we can kind of do that a little bit, like into June is kind of what I'm thinking there.
My opinion might be different than you guys, but don't you think that the observation is that the pennywort's there, that nothing's done? So I mean, if we're treating other weeds, but the pennywort's still visible,
Yep.
the community
That's
feels
what we
like
said.
nothing's being done because they can still see pennywort. So even though we're treating something
Well,
that
so I
needs to
guess
be treated sooner.
what we're
Do
planning
you guys
on.
agree?
The other thing too is most of the herbicides that we use on pennywort, they don't, you want them, they're systemic. You want them to translocate down to the roots. And a lot of times aquatic plants, water lilies, pennywort, stuff like that, a lot of they kind of overwinter sort of half dormant. And then in the spring, they start kind of putting new growth out. And then at some point, like maybe June or so, they kind of shift to where they're making food and loading the roots back up to get through the next, winter type thing. So the things translocate into the roots a lot better, a little bit later into the year. I'm talking like June though, not, I'm not talking, but, going in April after pennywort's probably going to be too early based on the mode of action of that herbicide. The reason the sonar works has got a little different mode of action.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When the time comes that we start stocking bass back into
Yep.
our waterways, will
Yep.
any of these chemicals hurt the bass?
No.
Okay,
So, and the reason I say that is, so first, Environmental Protection Agency goes and before anything's registered to use nationally, they look at all that stuff, and if they feel that there's an impact at the rate you would be applying this stuff if there's a huge safety margins, or they won't approve it for use. And then the Washington Department of Ecology has gone back, and it also, our state has more issues than say, like for example, the state of Iowa would not be worried about salmon, right? So they don't have, but so ecology, in order to support their permit, they've actually done environmental impact statements on every one of these herbicides and proved that to themselves that they could be used at label rates without impacting fish at all or they wouldn't put it on the permit. One of the contact herbicides we used last year, Diquat, is actually used in salmon and trout hatcheries at 10 times the rate you use it to kill weeds for a couple of gill diseases when the fish are little babies. So there's no potential to impact them.
Okay.
What you do if you're really getting a bass fishery going, what you want to make sure you've got you've got to have structure. And, aquatic plants provide some structure, but if you have a situation where you've got a bass population and nowhere for the fish that the bass prey on to hide, they basically find and eat everything, and then they get stunted. If there's good cover spread around the lake, then for the prey species, then they're still eating, but they're not eating themselves out of house and home so fast, and you got a lot better, healthier bass population. We do quite a bit of advising on developing a fisheries program for bass fisheries and that type of thing. So we can talk more about that when you get there.
yeah, that's down the road a little
Yeah.
ways. We have to get rid of our cart first.
Yeah.
So it's down the road a little ways.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Good.
Do you want me around for anything else, Becky, or?
No, thank you very much, Terry. This was very informative. And I will be in touch with you tomorrow because I think there's one thing that we'll need to update on the proposal for the pennywort.
Okay, and then if you guys want us back before we start, we'd be happy to come back to one of your meetings, or if anybody wants to meet us when we're out there and kind of see what we're up to, we'd be happy to, host you too, so.
Thank you.
Oh, that'd be
Yep.
good.
Is there a way that we can accompany you on some of these trips when you're treating the water?
Yeah, we don't necessarily like people on our boat because of we don't mind if you're right next to us though. Just in
fine.
terms of, chemical exposure and stuff like that. Just it's kind of a liability thing, but we don't have any problem at all with talking to people before we start or answering questions as we go along or having somebody tag along. It's better if you're in your own boat, just so we're not.
We have that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll obviously check back before that all happens, so.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks for your time, you guys. See you. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Terry. Bye.
Becky, that was good.
Yeah, he's really good. I like working with him.
And then you're gonna get with them about the penny wart.
Yep, I have two
We go on
things
that.
to do. After that is update with the penny wart, and then the other thing I'm gonna do, I want to talk to you guys about and get your thoughts on it. Because we have two different things that we're gonna work on with the fresh waterways. We have the aquatic weed management and we have the cyanobacteria. How do you guys feel about not splitting the fresh waterways advisory board, but having half of you work on the aquatic weed management and half of you work on the cyanobacteria plan? So that there are two smaller groups that are focused on, one of each of these items. I think
I'm
we'll
fine
get
with it.
further faster if we do it that way, but I want to.
Probably that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay. So does anybody?
Janet, you
wants?
Jim, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Two different groups to work with these different processes.
You have to have less than 4 in a group.
Which, yeah, we would do a
We would
full
do that.
3. Yeah.
Agree.
Or we don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
we can do with the three.
We can do 3 and 3, yeah.
Okay, so just let me know who the 3 and 3 is, and also who you'll have like a team captain. I think you should have one point person. We'll all be copied on the emails, with each group, but I think one point person will take some of if there was any miscommunication or anything lost in translation.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah, and then is it allowed, Nicole, can I meet with the group separately to talk about planning?
Yeah, as long as it's no more than 3 of them.
Okay,
Like,
and then we would update
because
what.
then they're making decisions.
Yep, we would update what we do and decide on and have the whole board vote on any action.
Okay,
Okay, awesome. So,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
You have that
So
outline.
you're making ad hoc meetings.
I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be in a couple days, but I will get it to you.
Becky,
Yeah.
what company is Terry McNabb with?
Aquatechnics. And they wrote our IAVMP to our invasive aquatic, weed management report. So he's got a really good in-depth understanding of the lakes and canals and ocean shores.
So one group would be for what and the other for?
Weed and bacteria,
Weed and cyano,
yeah.
And
How do you,
bacteria.
the C one?
the cyanobacteria group is most likely gonna be getting a $50,000 grant as well, so we expect to be awarded that grant.
That's a
We have to spend it all on the stuff or can we buy beer?
Can we use the
So
operator?
it has to all be spent on.
Darn
Use
it.
the operator.
No, but I want to be on this, the bacteria one. You do? Well, whatever, whatever, figure it out.
Herrera will be here at our next meeting to talk about the cyanobacteria part. So, then after that, we can start talking in groups about what we want to do and moving forward. Included again in the agenda is the levels of service for the cyanobacteria. And when we start looking into that with whoever is going to be on that team, if you look at, for instance, the low level of service, it's on page 52 of over here, that document.
Yes, actually.
There may be a lot of cost savings that we can do in the place where it says fresh waterways management administration.
Yeah,
And the description is finance and grant tracking, adaptive management, coordination with community consultants and contractors. Most of that Tim and I can do. So we won't be paying out.
but we can put on here that.
Yeah. But so just when we're looking at it, if you guys see anything that you think, oh, we can do this as a fresh waterways advisory board, as we're just definitely call that out. So anywhere we can save costs, we'll do it.
Okay.
The only thing we really can't do is like treatments and stuff, we're
Right.
not licensed, but anything outside of that, we could possibly do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I have. Ricky, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a quick update on the boats. They are both being, pretty much torn down. So, the deck on the big platform one, the carpet was holding a lot of water and it's gotten out plywood. So there was one hole already and, one that was made on accident. So, we tore it all off. We just got new plywood to put on it. We just finished coating, I think half of it last week. And, it's just kind of a ongoing project that we're gonna keep going, do some serious maintenance on them, make sure that they're good to run through the summer and that we can depend on them when we need them. Neither of them run right now, but we're gonna go through each one, bit by bit and make sure that they're gonna be there when we need it. So we have, 3 trees that are gonna be, taken out of the canals once one of the boats is in good running order. Right now we have, the stormwater department is, all working on getting their boaters cards. We have, 1 tree in the Fish Hook Canal and 2 trees in Bass Canal that we need to remove, but so we're working on that.
Ricky, if you want us to, any of us are willing to come over and help when you start tearing down that, the harvester.
Mhm.
We're more than happy to come over, some of us, and help you tear that thing down, because we know it's gonna be.
Yeah, no, we have a mechanic and usually he can grab 1 or 2 maintenance guys to give him a hand.
Okay.
From time to time, so, usually he does that when he's gonna lift something off that does, takes more than 1 person.
Well, I wasn't gonna do it, but I was gonna volunteer. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Did you say you have 2 trees in Bath, Ricky?
2 trees in Bass Canal, yeah.
Is that
One
the
is in
entrance?
water and one's in-
That in the entrance to go into it?
No, I was gonna ask about the pipes.
Okay, cause that's,
Yeah, just gonna- What about the pipes at the end of Bass?
What's
Is it
that?
near your house?
Got one next door to my house. It's leaning way into the water. And that's probably one.
Oh, Marshall.
Is it pipes in the,
there
Yeah,
is some
very,
pipe.
very north end of the Bass
I
Canal.
think Marshall said we're waiting for the boats to get done and then we. Okay.
I
Yeah,
have,
there's 3 pipes. There used to be.
they used to be the aerators.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing, we're just waiting for the boats.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Another thing from Greg?
Thanks, Mickey.
Yeah, I've heard back, yeah. I'd have to look at the timeline of I know they have a review period, so. I'll have to look at that.
Okay, anything else? All done? No problem.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the election of board officers. And it's that time of, it's that 1 year since we all got into this. And I think everybody here has done a really good job, and I think it's been seen by a lot of people out around town in the mayor's office and everybody else too. So we want to go ahead and look at what we want to do for voting. I would like to start at the bottom and move up. For secretary,
Is that how we do it? I'm looking at Nicole. Is that?
I mean, it's listed in a particular order, but if you want, I don't know that it necessarily.
Well, I'm fine with that. I mean, I could
I want to start from the top.
stop.
Okay, that's
There
right.
you go.
Okay,
President,
I would like to nominate Jay for president.
I'll second. Okay, Jim, you want it?
Any more?
All in favor?
Aye. Is that how we do it?
Yeah.
Um,
If there were no other nominations, you're good.
What'd you say?
Two hands, that's cheating.
You almost didn't make it here on time. Next one?
next one is the vice president.
I'd like to nominate Connie, stay in the position.
I'm second that.
Any other nomination?
Next one is
All in favor?
I vote for myself.
Yes.
Next one, I would like to
secretary.
nominate James for secretary. Any seconds?
I'll second, yeah. I sit next to him. I see how much work he does.
All in favor?
Aye.
You and two.
Yep. That it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, public communication. This is the opportunity for the public that are in the room to address concerns that they may have or comments. And that's basically about the fresh waterways system. It's not directed to any member of the board. It is just to have your voice be heard. So if we have anybody who would like some comments, yes.
How long has there been an advisory board for the freshwater? Has it been years? or-
Years.
Years, and then there was a 8 to 12 month hiatus.
And did it come back into play?
Is it?
About a year ago today.
Year ago today.
Oh,
Year
really?
ago this month, yep.
Yes.
Oh, that's when you guys started getting that, putting out the applications and stuff.
Okay. Any other comments? Yes, Phil.
I would just like to thank all of you for all of your hard work.
Oh, Philip,
Good.
that's sweet.
Okay,
Thank you.
I've been there. I appreciate it.
Ricky, that's where the boats came from. Was Phyllis.
Yep.
Any other comments? Don, do you have any comments online?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just have a couple of questions, and maybe you could direct me as to who I could communicate with to find the answers on. Over the years, as I've read the reports, there's been some information that I just don't have an answer for. One of them is I hear a lot about the fresh waterways being 23 miles of fresh waterways. And what is that? What is the measure of that? Is that the shoreline of all the waterways and the side waterways and Bass Canal and all that, or is it the center line of the various waterways? And I've never had an answer for that. The other thing is,
Hey, Don, hold on a second. Can you tell me what that measurement in miles was?
yeah, I've heard 23. It's all over the talking about the city when they advertise the city.
Yeah.
23 miles of fresh waterways. And what is that? Is that like the center lines? Is that the shoreline? What is that?
So I'll get that answer, and then there's also in some documentation, it talks about how many acres we
Like
have and not
4,000 or-
miles.
Yeah, I have a
so-
question about the acreage too. That was also there. I got a number of years ago from somebody on the corporation, but I don't recall what it was or how it was measured.
Yeah,
And I
I'll
have a
get that.
couple of other things I want to ask about too.
Go ahead, Don.
Okay, in the various reports that were put out in the last few months, that it talks about various access inlets and outlets of the fresh waterway system. One of them is Oyet Creek. Well, I know where that is. That's at the head of the Grand Canal. But then there's a reference to a place called Clover Creek and a place called Duck Creek, and I have no idea where Clover Creek and Duck Creek are. Then
Clover Creek is,
yeah, okay.
comes into the Grand Canal, just north of where the Public Works office is. It's probably about a half mile north of that on the Grand Canal from that bridge. It's directly across the canal from my house.
What is the origin?
That's Point Brown. Point
What
Brown.
is the origin of Clover Creek then?
Pardon me?
What is the origin of Clover Creek?
Big ditch.
Origin of-
Groundwater, yeah.
It's just groundwater and it's also, if you look at the houses that are over there, they have culverts that go into a center ditch.
Okay, and the next
That
one's
comes
called,
into the Grand Canal.
You don't see it unless you're actually standing on top of it,
well, I've never seen it.
literally.
Yeah, the next one is called Duck Creek.
Don't know.
Or that one is either.
That's also referred to in the various reports.
Duck Creek.
Really?
We can research it and we'll put something
Okay.
out.
North End.
And the last two sort of mysteries to me, one is called Pacific Drain. I assume Pacific Drain is at the south end of the Grand Canal. But what is the Menard Drain? there's a reference to Menard Drain. Where is that located?
The community.
Oh, it is?
Drain. There's a drain from the Perkins Pond into Lake Menard.
Oh, from where the Perkins Pond, isn't that where the boat launch is?
No, Perkins Pond is the community. Pond.
Oh, I know where that's at, yeah.
Well, there is
Right
no,
on the other side of drainage into Lake Menard.
anyhow, I won't take your time, but
Yeah.
can I contact Becky about some of these things? That the person that offered to look
Yep.
into the numbers? Okay, Becky, I'll get in touch with you, but
Okay.
the only thing I would know about Menard Drain is if we had a breach of the south end of the canal, and that would be a drain. But there's no drain there to the ocean, as far as I know. Anyhow, I've been seeing this for years in the various reports as being monitoring points, and I have never been able to figure out where they were. So I appreciate your time, and Becky, I will get in touch with you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, any other comment?
I got some comments.
Oh, Vita?
Hi, Vita.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Did anybody start the clock when Don Williams was speaking? Anyway, I want to talk about the fluoridone treatment, otherwise known as sonar. The new aquatic vegetation management plan requires a fluoridone vegetation management plan. If you're going to treat 50% of the littoral zone in lakes up to 20 acres, or excuse me, 50 acres. So I think Don's comment regarding how many acres we do have and how many acres Mr. McNabb was planning to treat, that we need to know what that is. So since Don was able to ask questions, I'd like to ask Becky Leach a question.
Go ahead.
Is Mr. McNabb planning on creating one of these vegetation management plans for Floridone?
We are going to be treating less than 40% of our acreage, and I have it in writing from him, so I can also have him map it out if needed, but we're treating less than 40%, so we don't have to do one of those plans.
Well, how many acres do we have?
In the fresh waterway, in the FWAMP, it says there's 450 acres and there's 25 miles of shoreline, Don. So it is shoreline, measured shoreline.
Okay. So you're going to be doing less than 40% of 450 acres?
Yes, because he's only spot treating where the vegetation is, where the curly pond leaf is, which is, it's not
Okay.
throughout the canals all over.
Okay, great. I don't have any other comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vita.
Thank you. Okay. No other comments? On to old business. Duck Lake Carp Management, James, any update?
I believe that is in the city's hands now, so we don't have anything that we need to do regarding that anymore. It's just gone to council, so that should be taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah, for the carp. And then, yeah, that's all I got on the carp.
Okay.
Is there?
And you have the next one also, previous meeting topic follow-up.
We'll run down through it really quick. We've got the cleanup, which we've just put that on pause for a while. We've got that ordinance change, which is done. Janet asked about the pipes and bass, so we're following up with Marshall on that. And then the other one was the logs and fish hook, which Ricky already updated us on that, and the 2 trees and bass. So then we're going down to life jackets. Did those get taken care of?
No, that's what I'm gonna talk to Ricky afterwards.
Okay. Then we've got the title transfers. Those were complete.
Yes.
So that's done on the list. Procolor, I don't know if he talked about that earlier that didn't sound like we're gonna look at the Procolor spray.
Yes, and I have the names reversed. So
Okay.
sonar is the one.
Okay.
And that's what he's using. Yeah, it's
All
not,
right.
but yeah, that's my bad.
All right, no worries, no worries. Okay, so the spraying for that's gonna be in June, the Pro Lore spray?
And he's gonna do it that's
That's the one.
that I don't know. I know he's doing the pellets, that's the sonar in April, and we should see results in June.
Okay,
So do you have a note on that? Cause
yeah, I have the spray for pennywort in June, and then the
Oh.
granules will be spread in April, and then again 4 weeks later, so May, basically.
yeah, I do have the pennywort note, cause he's gonna have to.
Okay. Anything on that?
Alan.
Were you gonna say something, Jay? So that's taken care of. Lake Menard Fountain. It's still put on there last week. The fountain, Lake Menard.
Don't know anything about it. Haven't
You
known
won't.
about it. What?
You had me add it. You just want me to skip it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're down to I'm adding to this one, so breaking up the groups and whatever. So that's all.
The fountain's gonna be in one of the levels of service. So whichever one's decided on.
Did you guys watch? I watched a video on the solar beams that it talks about. Did you guys watch that on YouTube? Those were cool.
They are cool.
Those are really cool.
And I think that's level of service one.
I
I
think
think
we can.
it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think it's in
The
two.
higher level, I believe.
It's a higher level.
Anyway, those are really cool.
They are.
But yeah,
No, it's
okay.
in the first one. It's in the low level. Yeah, 211,000 to get it started over the first 3 years, and then 28,000 a year after.
That'd be per unit.
Oh, per unit. I must have read it wrong. I was thinking. But still, those things are great. In fact, I won't talk about it anymore, but anyway.
That's all we have of old business.
Discussion now, new business. We already talked about, we moved the other one up. So the next one is Connie with the Parks and Fresh Waterways attendant.
I talked to the chairman of the Parks Board, and we had a very interesting conversation about this. And I thought it would be great if each of our boards had a representative that would go to the others' meetings every month. And because the Parks Board and the Water Board work hand in hand, or they should work hand in hand, I'll put it that way. And they have all kind of agreed that that would be great. I kind of went to Jim on this one. I know how Jim is really good about searching out details on stuff. And so I was just thinking, what do you all think about that? First of all, what do you think about having the two boards have a rep that would go to each other's meeting? Do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you think about Jim being our rep?
What does Jim think about him being?
I don't care what you think.
You know, the more I thought about it, the more I think I'd like to do that.
I think you'd be very good at it, and you're good with people, and you are good with details. So unless somebody else just dying to do it, I would like to have Jim do that. I don't know that it takes a vote. Does it take a vote? I don't think so. And then I'll be talking with Kristen, and so I'll see if the Parks Board has done that too. And then I can get back to everyone and let them all know about that. And what was the other thing I want to talk about? Something else?
I think that was it.
Can I talk about something else?
Then you can do that in the reports discussion.
I'll do that.
Okay. Next one is shoreline cleanup, and that's for me. And one of the things the reason I wanted to bring this up is we want to probably get up on our Facebook page and get out to the community, the do's and don'ts of shoreline cleanup. And we'll get some listing from Marshall. And the reason this came up was, not this Sunday, but the previous Sunday, I got a phone call from a resident. And, his neighbor was burning down the grass in the water. The grass reeds, had them on fire. Don't know how, don't know, we poured gas on them, don't know what he did, but he was burning them all up. A couple of members of the fire department went out and had him get buckets of water and go put the fires out. And then he was also talked to by Marshall, because there was, I emailed the city and said, I think we need to get the city involved in this and address them with the owner on what to do and not to do. So what I'd like to do is probably get everybody to come up with some ideas, I'll get some from Marshall and we'll get that posted, but then we'll get up on our Facebook and leave it as a top post of what you can do and not do to your waterways. Such as, setting it on fire is not a good thing.
I thought we had a document that was from the Department of Ecology.
We have the shoreline management, I believe, shoreline management, but I'd kind of like to do a do's and don'ts that are,
Like a quick and down and
in-
dirty do's
in
and don'ts.
just simple layman's terms.
Okay. I was looking, I can't find that document, but
I think the do's and don'ts are in shoreline management.
okay.
And that goes into talking about, no putting in concrete bulkheads, which people have done. Not putting concrete on the bed of the canal when it's low tide. And I saw somebody do that. And it's still there. So they concreted over the whole edge of the shoreline where their house was at. So, but when it's high tide, it's underwater. So, and a couple other things that I've seen is tires in the water on the shoreline, which is a no-no. And then, just things of that nature. So,
Don't throw your dog poop in the water.
yeah, don't throw your dog poop on. Yeah,
Oh, dear poop.
or any poop. Okay, I mean, that's all I had. So I'll work with Marshall on that and get some. All right, reports. Board member reports and canal inspections. Jeff is not here. We'll skip him. James?
It's just, there's no change for anything I'm seeing. I went down, looked around, down by the bells, and then of course my canal. It's just around.
Yeah. Okay. With mine, the North Grand Canal is still the same. It's flowing back and forth. Pennyworth's moving up and down the canal and it's just moving around. And North Duck Lake, I went over there the other day, didn't see anything of great measure that was a concern. The only thing I will add under my reports is that the speed buoys, the no wake buoys. I talked to Sergeant Pode at the police department. And with the government issues going on right now, all funding has been curtailed. So they don't have money to get the replacement buoys. So are the labels to put no wake instead of 5 miles an hour. So they're saying that they're hoping that's going to rectify that. They should be able to get some money here soon. So that's all I got. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, just a lot of going of Pennywort through there, and it's really bad going into the Bishop Canal. And a little bit of green on top, but it wasn't anything that was, cyanobacteria at all. So other than that, it's more the same.
Yeah. Connie?
Green and swirly. It's winter time for one thing and nothing's really changing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janet?
Green also, some nice patterns.
Yeah.
I said teal last time.
Oh, now it's green, solid green.
Okay.
Nice little swirly patterns all over. The
Yeah.
wind seems to carry it around. We had a loose orange ball floating down the canal yesterday. So,
Did you get it?
no, it was out there in the middle. And it would stop and then the wind would get it, and then it'd stop and go back the other way. And everywhere. I don't know where it ended up.
All right, Jim, you have something to talk about with the waterway?
Oh, yeah. After the last meeting, we were talking about the cyanobacteria and the phosphorus. And so I just did some research on, what contributes to it. And a lot of it has to do with shoreline activity. Both from the fertilizers and other things that people use, and they wash off into the canal and provide phosphorus for all the things we don't want in there. And one of the things I did, well, do they have a phosphorus-free fertilizer? I went down to ACE, and about 70% of what they have is phosphorus-free. And they try to encourage people. I mean, they've transitioned to this. They try to encourage people use fertilizers that don't have phosphorus in them. And because the phosphorus, it promotes the growth down below. If we eliminate it or really minimize it over time, we'll find with these reports that we're seeing less and less phosphorus in the water. They also have what's called heritage phosphorus. It's stuff that's gone in over the years. It's down into the soil and stuff, and that takes longer to get out. But it's all headed in the right direction, which is getting rid of the phosphorus, which means the aluminum sulfate won't be as necessary because we won't have as much we're trying to get rid of. I have on the second page here just a sample of all the different stuff right here. And most of them are Scott products, but they have zero phosphorus in them at all. I can't think of anything else.
Jim, that was amazing though. I mean, I know you spent a lot of time over there doing all that, taking pictures, talking to the people at ACE. Thank you. That was great.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that what I use is on the.
You do.
The other,
Oh, you mean I can't use Roundup anymore? What?
the other thing I wanted to mention, I looked up, because we use vinegar as a spot weed killer. And that's perfectly fine to use, just not as a broadcast, to kill like a large area or something. That can go into the canal or the lakes, and it can compromise what we're trying to do.
The vinegar can?
The vinegar, if you're just using it as a spot, I think it's fine. It's not a big deal. You're taking out the weeds. Like in my front yard, I get weeds in my gravel, and I come out and take them out. And I use the vinegar. It's really nice. They said not to use the vinegar with the soap and other stuff. From what I read, but it's a spot killer for things, everything except dandelions. It works great.
I think too that this will be worthwhile to bring up when Herrera's at the next meeting.
Yeah,
That would be a good topic.
happy to.
Should we wait till then because I thought we might want to put this on our Facebook page.
Oh, gosh, I would do it.
Okay.
I figured we would do that.
Email it to them too, ahead of time.
Yep,
That way they have a heads up of what we're coming out.
that's a good idea.
Oh, that's a good question, Janet.
Jim, do you know, do bug sprays like yard sprays have phosphorus in them, or what do they have in them? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know, but they're all labeled. They've got other like weed killers and things there that they consider green, but I don't know what they mean by that.
A lot of people use those bugs.
This is good. Thank you.
Who's gonna put that on Facebook before we move on?
I can do it.
Next thing is the city council liaison report. Kurt, you?
I have a question. The Herrera report has the 3 levels of service. What is this group's recommendation?
We don't have one yet. I don't. I can't speak for all of us.
We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah.
We haven't done the deep dive into it.
We've
But
only,
they're doing that.
Do you want to be on one of the ad hoc teams as our council liaison, either the cyanobacteria or the.
Go Kurt.
You can be on both if you want, no pressure.
How many ad hoc committees are there?
Well, there's gonna be 2 for this group.
Okay, that's fine.
I think we all have opinions, right?
Yeah.
But no, we haven't.
We don't have an
come up with
official word.
official, this is what we're recommending to the council, so.
When do you?
It's also the level of service is dependent upon the stormwater.
The funding.
The funding, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here and say all day, well, we want it as high because it gets the most and biggest bang for the buck. but then they don't approve funding to do the high.
And I think council's gonna need a recommendation too before they approve a rate increase so that they can
That's what I'm asking for.
legitimately.
But isn't
speak
it-
to-
Weren't they gonna do that on the next council meeting? Try to talk about that and get an idea on that?
I think probably not next meeting, right?
I don't know yet.
It wasn't on agenda.
See, it's a recommendation, and recommendation is waiting on what's gonna be funded, and so it's
Yeah.
like,
I think looking at everything.
where's the cart and the horse?
As
Yeah.
everyone that went over it and read all the levels, honestly, there's not that much difference between what it's gonna cost between the low level and the high level. So of course, I say high level, let's do it and get the best stuff going.
That's what.
But I guess that's what we all need to come to an agreement on and then talk with.
Yeah, I think we're waiting. We're still waiting. We have the report and we're all reading the report and going over the report and this and that. But as far as us being able to recommend anything to council, we're not ready to do that. Because I think we're still waiting for them to make some decisions too, right, Becky?
Yeah, and the high level is $2 million to get started and set up, and that's over the course of 3 years. A total of 2 million. And then after that, 570,000 a year. And I think what we've gotten in a biennium budget, the last couple bienniums was $300,000 for the fresh waterways for the biennium. So
We'll be changing to annual now, right?
we'll be changing to annuals. That would be like 150,000. And to keep this high level going, it would take 570,000. And Tim would be looking into grants and things too, ones that we could potentially apply for, yearly to keep it going. And then also the big one to get it off the ground. And some of these things included in that $2 million, we could start before we had all the money.
Some of them in the the monitoring and stuff like that, I mean, is
Yeah.
something that this board could do, is looking at, because we're out in the water a lot.
Yeah.
Someone we can monitor it and do test samples.
Yeah.
Because it's, well, I mean, that's a 22,000 expense, so that could be reduced.
Didn't they talk about that in council last meeting?
Yeah. And I grant you, I'm not a wildly experienced council member. But by the same token, I mean, is it the chicken or the egg, which comes first?
Yeah.
You guys want to know how much funding there'll be, and the council wants to know what's the recommendation so we can look at funding options.
What is the,
Can I ask a question?
The other thing we have to throw in there is the effectiveness of us getting rid of the cart, because my understanding is we can't be overly effective if they're still in there.
That's the first, we've got like 1, 2, and 3, and that is the number one thing that we have got to do is get rid of the carp.
That was actually another question I'd had, as we've been talking about that for a long time.
Well,
And,
you can't get them right now, though, is the problem. They're not around, you
the
can't
bottom.
get them.
Plus, the legal things we're still waiting
are.
on being cleared up to.
Fish and Wildlife, right?
no, from the.
Oh, from the city.
Yeah.
The city.
Oh, hunting.
Okay.
So the city has that ordinance, that we've recommended that they update the ordinance to match with what the state recommends.
Okay.
The city's out of line with the state recommendation. And so we're waiting for that to come through, the city before that can change.
So that ordinance to be looked at.
And that was supposed to be, I think, on the last agenda, but.
It's coming this next meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it will be at the next one?
Yeah.
Because I bought agenda setting.
That's kind of reveal.
So Kurt, just say yes, and that's all.
Should be used to that one.
Yeah, so that's where we are on that. That's why it feels like it's a catch-22, kind of who's waiting on who. But
Exactly.
Things are moving. It's just, it takes time.
And James has been talking to people about, once that all gets taken care of, about coming out and actually doing like carp contests and all kinds of stuff to get them out of here. But until we get them out of here, there's just nothing else we can essentially do.
Well, and we know that there's also opinions that want to get started on that right away, like with the alum and stuff, which I don't have any control over that anyway. But so like if, say, the city wanted to start treating it with alum before the carp were completely gone or even started to be harvested, That's not, I mean, that really isn't up to us.
No, and I've talked to Frank and them and treating the alum, even with the carp there, we could see how effective the alum would be.
Yeah.
And see if the carp would do anything to it.
Right.
That's kind of the thought I'm in too, because if you can do the alum and get the algae down to the bottom, the water clarity is better, then you can
Right.
fish better too.
Right, that's what, I think that's a good point to.
So all these things have good points and good counterpoints, but it's just a matter of how do we go and which ones do we achieve and go for first?
Currently.
And I know the alum treatment's pretty expensive, so we just have to take a look at that.
Currently, the cities, we're waiting on the city.
And say the council does appreciate everything that this group does. As I mentioned in my comments last council meeting, we want to be supportive and useful to you. Is there anything I can bring back specifically to council from you? Not you, Connie.
I would suggest that maybe you come up with a plan, give it to them, show that, it's this much money. You can say no. Or we find out how to, but it sounds like we just keep waiting.
I think what the big weight is that in my mind, I don't know what it is, the final number. If we put the stormwater rate at $5.94, what is that as an overall increase for the number of properties in the city of Ocean Shores?
The stormwater rate study shows that.
Mhm.
It shows if
We
you,
have that.
yeah,
What I wanted to hear is not dollars and cents, is
You want to know what we want to do.
What we want to
which
do.
treatment option is acceptable.
Well, they're all acceptable.
But the problem that we
Wait a minute,
had,
Janet.
some of the problem we had in the last, when people were doing this, they chose the least expensive way, which was putting in the carp. And that's done nothing but create problems. So if we take the least expensive method again, is this just gonna lead to more of the same? And not really get rid of all of it.
on this one too, I believe it's just to do some like testing to see how it works in
Mhm.
two of the canals, right? Fish hook and canal maybe,
Right.
so it's not even for all of that.
I think we would all recommend the top one, but
I know we would.
Janet wants
We
to
had-
say something.
We had we discussed once having just a test area we can start that now because the carp are still there. Everything is still in place. Like doing one small area of a bass perhaps, that we could do the
Oh, sure.
first treatment. Right by my house.
Not that I agree with that analogy.
Yeah.
But we had talked about that and everything's at standstill now. Nothing's changed. So it might be a good time to try a test kind of thing and see what it does, if anything.
And Terry McNabb, he does those applications as well. So between him and Herrera, we could get a good, okay, this is how you should do it to test it.
Yeah, this is this is right in front of my house, the test pattern, right?
Good idea.
It's right there.
Here.
I'll serve water, whatever.
Yeah, right. Better
We
make
can
that.
come up with a recommendation.
Yeah,
The highest option,
And
We could come up with a recommendation, right?
option is
I think we
obviously
should do it now.
most comprehensive, right?
let's do a test.
And the lowest one is just not enough. Is that?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's saying business as usual.
But the middle one, is it sufficient? But not ideal or what?
No,
It's better than
from what I
mine.
heard, I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't have the study in front of me, the stormwater funding, I thought the pricing was about the same for the medium and the high.
It is.
It is, it's very close. Yeah. And-
I vote,
What do you do?
I vote we go high.
But
Also, yeah, I agree. If we're gonna make a vote, but also the thing of it is, Kurt, is that, we haven't, we can mix and match services.
Mhm.
And we haven't sat down and
So
picked.
they have like a cafeteria option.
Yeah,
Kind of.
we can cherry pick.
Yeah.
But as far as if you wanted to say total expense, I think everyone would say to
Go high.
go high.
because you can always,
Go home.
you can always, take the level down if we see that what we're doing in the high is working and that we don't need to keep doing this and, just bring some of those levels, a little bit lower again.
idea of a pilot project of some sort sounds pretty good.
Well, a lot of these are pilot, like even in Lake Menard, starting with certain, in the report, we're only starting in certain areas. It's not like gonna be widespread, the whole waterway. It's gonna start in Menard and Bell or, I can't remember now.
Fishhook.
Fishhook.
The other thing, just to say that, when we start, I mean, even with the alum treatment, if we did it in sections, the thing you can find out is how long is it gonna last?
Yeah.
If we did all of Fish Canal and it turns blue, first of all, people that live there are gonna be super happy because it's not gonna smell as bad. And secondly, if it lasts 2 years, then what do we say? We don't need to do it every year. We can judge it based upon how effective what we're doing in that area is gonna be. And that's the big thing to me, is that we wanna see the effectiveness of it also. And that's why we said test spots.
Should we, do you guys want to go through?
I'll
and-
find it. Let's do a recommendation to test. Yeah, can we do that?
Are you ready to do something?
I mean, you can, yeah. Yeah, if you
Brad.
want to make a recommendation to test alum and Fishhook Canal, for
Yes.
example.
Yeah.
Then I will start figuring out what that will cost, working with Aquatechnics and Herrera. What it would take to make it happen, and then
You have money to do that now?
I don't have personal money to do it. That's what I need to find out, is I need to do a contest, see how much it was to do that, to do Fishhook, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
so I can do that.
yeah,
Let's see what it costs, yeah.
I agree.
I agree.
And Bass is a great, honestly, I think Bass is a great place to test because it's horrible. So,
Ask for
Well,
Fishhook.
one, yeah.
Or
we're
Fishhook.
talking-
I think Fishhook will get more visibility from people
Yeah.
also.
Which one has more blue-green algae, because that's what we're treating.
Oh, I
Bass,
think we'll win.
I
Bass
think
is the
Bass
worst.
does.
Bass has historically been the worst water quality.
And we've been in it,
It
so
has no flow, that's why.
Yeah.
it's horrible.
I mean,
Right.
even in,
That's probably why they recommended to test both of them, because one has flow and one doesn't.
yeah, you get all the traffic. through
Okay,
Fishhook.
report, I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also live on the Bass Canal for 25 years. When they treated the waterways back in 2006, they used sonar on the lake.
Mhm.
Bass Canal. Everything else was Sordo.
Okay,
Backwater, I'm sorry. Okay, and sonar held up the best.
okay,
Wow.
good,
It's more expensive. It has to be retaining in the system a long time.
yeah,
But right now, we've got a lot of blue-green algae on Bass Canal. It just comes in whenever the wind dies, there's no motion. And I've only been here this winter for the first time in a long time. We used to go to California. So I don't remember experiencing all this algae this time.
all year long, yeah.
But when I used to take the electric boat down to Fishhook in summertime, it was so bad. It smelled like a sewer.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, I was embarrassed to haul people down to Duck Lake from the Grand Canal, because you almost had to tell them to turn your.
Put your hand over their nose like this when they go down.
Also, during the summertime, there's no flow there at all either.
Yeah.
When everything goes out the outfall during this time, the summer, the golf course, they take out water every day. For watering and whatever people do, and all the evaporation. I was hoping that someday we could increase the volume of the entire waterway by increasing 6 inches possibly at the weir during the end of the rainy season. That would hold us longer through the summer season. And that would help to do,
That's ever been.
you have a lot more volume in the system.
Yeah, neither, but.
Yeah, maybe 6 inches might be too much, but some, just so we don't float away too many docks.
Yeah,
But I know in years past, before we moved here in 2000, the outfall was plugged. And my dock has been hydraulic to where the water line is a little bit higher than the shoreline. But I believe that by holding more volume to the summer, that would reduce all the problems that we have. As well as, and right now, I don't know how long it's gonna take to get the test algae program going. I think we ought to initiate that before we do anything else.
so I'll get a cost for both. Fishhook and Bell, or Bass, for both. And then,
And that would start
Bring it
immediately
back
if you
to the
have
table.
when you have the funding.
yes, and by immediately, probably 2 months.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
I have a comment to.
Go ahead.
If I can.
Good.
So if you raise the weir 6 inches, because already the turnover in the lake, the water in the lake is like years. It takes a long time for it to get out and for it to cycle through. If you raise that, it would increase how much sitting time the water has in the waterway, which in turn, I think, based on the studies we've read, it would increase bacterial growth. But do you have anything that's opposite that would say something different than that?
Yep, reduces, like in the basket, it can drop down as much as 13 inches over the summer. So you're taking away the water column. So that means you have more exposure from all the sunlight and everything else, which energizes all the growth. And you talked about phosphorus, what about nitrogen as well? Also, nitrogen is another issue that gets in from fertilizers.
Yeah, the
Another thing you
nitrogen.
have to worry about.
Yeah.
Golf course is
the
a
nitrogen-
big issue about putting out fertilizer. They use fertilizer a lot on the golf course.
Yeah.
So I think we need to look at that aspect.
Thank you.
They do not use phosphorus.
They aren't?
They are not. No. I actually talked to
Ricky, does your crew take care of the golf course?
Yeah. Their practice is to use a non-phosphorus.
Yes.
But they do have their own maintenance that does.
Yeah.
I know, I'm pretty sure their fertilizer is liquid,
Okay,
but I'm not exactly sure what it is.
That'd be interesting to find out what they're using.
maybe you could do that, find out for us what the city uses or the golf course uses.
It's the problem too, is
Would the council have to okay it, wouldn't they?
what, just asking?
No, doing it.
Doing it?
What
I think
they,
as long as they stick to city policy for fertilizers, that would be fine.
Okay, well, look, I will find out.
I actually, like I said, I talked to their management people back when it was through. And they're very careful because they've got several golf courses around the country, world, whatever it is.
Right.
And so they don't want to spend a whole lot of money on fertilizer. So what they use sparingly. So it's not going to run off into the canals because that's a waste of money. And then they're not using phosphorus.
well, because that is part of the problem. It's not just the people that live on the canal. When we have a heavy rain season, a lot of fertilizers and other things leach in.
Yeah.
Anything else? Last item is public communication. 3 minutes to address something you may have heard or you want to comment on it. Anybody would like to make a comment? Yes.
The confidence by an expensive kit measure the constant.
Sure there is.
Measure the water.
I'm sure there's some out there. I have them that measure my tap water. I have 2 kids test my tap water.
You measure your jacket?
I measure the chemicals in my tap, yes.
How do you do that?
Take a water sample, I put a stick in it that's got reading indicators and tells me what they are.
You buy those with the Ace Hardware?
We got them Amazon. Amazon? You can probably get them at Ace. Anything else? Nothing else. Our next meeting will be March 2nd at 2 p.m. Oh, Don, Avita, any comments? If not, they're still muted.
I want to say something before we, can I do that before we
Go ahead.
stop?
Go ahead.
I want us to have a lot more communication with the public. I want us to be able, if you guys have questions, or of course, if, someone calls in and they have questions, I want us to be able to talk back and forth about what's on your mind. And if we can't answer it here, which there's a lot of times we won't be able to answer it, I was in management long enough to say, I don't know, but I'll sure find out and I'll get back to you. And especially if you want to give us, an email where we can, find an answer and get back to you on email, that would be wonderful. And I want us to be able to talk to each other a lot more.
I agree, and I take it even a step further, to coming up with some kind of comprehensive outreach where people feel like they're being included. I don't want you to tax me and then tell me later, and I don't even really know what you're doing. or how expensive it is.
I think the city was talking about doing a town hall, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Or,
Yeah.
like,
They are.
so there'll be a town hall to talk about the storm drain increase, you know, based on the recommendation from us. So that would be public, but I agree, we should have more outreach.
Yeah.
Facebook page is good, but any other suggestions?
I'm also thinking about the businesses in the area, they benefit greatly.
And I want you
from
guys,
a live functioning canal system.
Yeah.
It has bass in it, that brings in people and stuff. I can't imagine any of the businesses here that wouldn't want to do this. You know, how many businesses go out every year between September and May because they didn't make enough?
Just my 2 cents worth, that you also need to stress how much value the canals bring to all residents, not just
Right.
people who live on the canal.
Right.
They're not seeing it right now, from what I'm hearing.
Yep.
They think, why should we pay extra for those people? When it's the infrastructure of the city, those canals are. There are our stormwater drainage systems.
I've even heard fill them in and build. That's horrible. Fill them in and build. I heard someone say this, to fill them in and build. But I want the public to know that you can reach out to any of us on this team. Yes, ma'am.
Can one of you go to city council meeting? And, because I mean, like the last city council meeting, there was a lot of people there.
We were all there.
We were there, yeah.
We're all.
Remember, I was giving you candy.
I know. Came up and spoke and explained what you're doing, because like I heard from somebody the other day, oh, they're not gonna do anything, they never have.
Yeah, and some people are discouraged because it is it's taken a lot of years for us to get where we're at. It's gonna take several years to get where we're going.
Government.
So long, people have been putting money into the canal at a minimum level, and nothing changes. Except maybe it gets a little worse. So it's saying that we're doing something different.
3 minutes.
As far as city council goes, that's what Kurt's here for, because he's our city council liaison. So he'll give report back to the city council, like what this board is doing. So he kind of is our mouthpiece at those meetings. But you're always welcome to let him know.
Yeah. But you can also contact us,
Yeah.
and I'm dead serious when I tell you that. You
You
can
guys
contact
can
me.
post all of your emails on the city's website.
I'm fine with that.
Because we've never done before, but that's totally up to you guys. We can do that.
Sure, I'm fine with it. Yeah,
I don't care.
Our city emails.
I'm more than happy to talk to the public anytime.
All right.
My council liaison reports during the meetings are not ever going to be, well, I attended council. I attended, Fresh Waterways, and leave it at that. I'm gonna have something to say.
You do, and I was thankful for you because you do have something to say, and I was glad you did.
Yeah.
And I'm not even being hateful to you.
And at the council meeting, there's public, talk time too, so you can bring it up in front of everybody there. If you have a question, and then they get back to you also.
Yeah.
Or someone will.
This is what I like. Thank you.
Our next meeting is Monday.
Oh, wait, we have one more.
Meeting already been terminated.
No,
Yeah.
We haven't,
We're waiting for you.
We used to provide information for people to know what to do and not to do in fresh waterways. And all that information went away. It used to be provided here at the library, provided out interpretive center, other location. We need to restore that so people know. They don't have to keep asking everybody and all that. Upfront, yeah, you're not supposed to put yourself back in the water. You're not supposed to take the boat, take all your debris, run up to the middle of the lake and dump it in the middle of the lake at night. They used to do. I mean, those things are common sense. And also, you're not supposed to go all the way down to the waterways, but have a riparian area to provide protection for habitat and everything. So that's something that we need to get out and educate better, not using the internet. And then it's-
How do we do it then?
Handouts.
Handouts, not the only thing you could.
But I totally agree with you interacting with the park board. I was on the park board. And I think it's more important that you get more than 1 or 2 people to show. Because this is all together, we're all connected.
Yeah.
We live on the waterways, people live on the ocean. When it goes bad there, do we seemingly care about them? not as much as if we were living there ourselves. But we need to work together as a team for the whole town. And the north end of the Grand Canal is a good example. That place has just gone to pot, back to what it was, a swamp. We had plans years ago to restore all that area, put docks in so people could bring their boats down, go down and watch a movie, go get a hamburger or something. All that stuff went away.
Well, that's one of the,
City public work director shot down my idea of putting docks down in there. So I mean, we've kind of lost what we used to have. And now you guys are trying to restore it. We're thankful for that.
well, that is one of the things that the Parks Board has been taught, because I was on the Parks Board when this shut down for a while. That's one of the things that they've been talking about, is that they would like to do literally a north end park with docks. And it would, as you're coming up north, it would, kind of go like this, go around, and so that they would have docks on each side, but it's a mess. And so that's one of our projects that we're going to be talking about, that we actually want to get up there with the Parks Board and anybody else we can get to come help us, and to get in there and start cleaning that out. But there's a lot of things we have to watch up there, because that's where the drainage, and I'm not going to say this right. There is something up there that is, you don't want to mess with it.
Waylight Creek coming in.
Is that it? Is that the part of it? And we don't know how deep it is. I mean, I'll be one of them. I'll be going in there with waders on, trying to see how deep it is so that we can get it cleaned out. But that is one of our projects that we have on our list to get done this spring and summer, is to work on that.
Yes.
It's important. Yes, Phyllis.
I don't know if you guys remember Jeff Daniel.
Oh, yes.
Jack Daniels?
Jeff, you don't know him. Jack Daniel.
A ton of information already done on that project.
Yeah.
Probably should go back and review and update it, because of the plan of doing that park. I think it's still, I don't know if it's still out there on the city website or not, but there was a plan in place.
Parks has it probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
There wasn't information right here in the library about that project a few years back, and just kind of fell on its face, so.
Yeah.
I remember the
pictures. And then as far
No, it
as,
wasn't that, it just, the project just fell on its face, that's all.
Yeah.
as far as the information about what to do and what not to do, the corporation had put together a lot of brochures, information about it, and it was on their website, and I have been going through documents. I have a lot of thumb drives.
Send them.
Thumb drives.
Or yell at me and I'll come get them.
The information, and I found a lot of information on that grass curve. It was like bad decisions made, but they were made. At the time, it was good decisions. But
Yeah.
I am going through, and there's probably a lot of information that I can give you that will take a lot of time in recreating stuff.
Is there funding for those projects? Do you know?
No, not yet. Never got there. Okay.
A lot of money spent on it.
I'd be happy to get any documents that you guys have had in the past, because you used to be on the Fresh Waterway Board, right, years ago?
Well, I was the president of Fresh Waterways Corporation.
Oh, the corporation, that's right, okay.
I was on
We built the
board.
harvester, we harvested.
All right, I was just trying to remember. Yeah, any information you guys have, we're happy to look through it.
Yeah, I'm still going through.
All right.
Oh, and also let me know when you want us to come over and get the equipment. Anytime? Jay? You're
I can go anytime you want to go. You can do it this week if you want.
Yeah.
Any day but Wednesday.
Day.
Yeah, maybe,
It's supposed to be nice.
Thursday's supposed to be a nice day.
yeah, that would be a good day to schedule.
Also, the bags for the harvester, did you guys get those?
Yep, they got them.
Okay, good. Okay. I wasn't sure about that.
Okay.
But yeah, just let me know when you want to get this.
Keep trying. All righty. Our next meeting will be March 2nd, 2026 at 2 p.m. here in the Ocean Shores Library meeting room. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're
Thank you,
adjourned.
guys. Thank you all for coming.